Hello everyone. So in this video, we will learn how to automatically add WordPress users to Sendinblue as contacts. So basically we are going to begin with a small example. So as you can see, this is a registration page of my WordPress account. So let's say a respondent is going to fill in this registration page. So let's say a guy called as Zina. The last name is John, Zina John, is filling the registration form. And this is her username. And this is the company she works in. She works in Tesla. Okay. And this is her email address. zinajohn123@gmail.com. Okay, so this is the email address. And this is her password, bunch of random numbers and characters. And this is her address. Okay. And this is her address line too. Okay, so basically I have mapped auto-mapped all rest of the details. So let's say a person called as Zina John is filling the registration form to register herself as a user in my WordPress account. And she's going to click on submit. Okay, so it is showing the user has been successfully registered. So the idea is that once a user registers to my WordPress account, he will be added as a contact in my Sendinblue account. So let me just straight away take you to Sendinblue and let me just refresh the contact page of Sendinblue. So let's have a look. Yes, Zina John has been added as a contact in Sendinblue. So basically this is the gist. So you're obviously thinking, how did I do it? How did I manage to automatically send the data from WordPress to Sendinblue? So basically here I have used an integration and automation software called as Pabbly Connect that integrates WordPress and Sendinblue. Now the best part of using Pabbly Connect is there is no need for coding skills or programming knowledge. Let me just show you the process. So basically in the new tab, let me just type pabbly.com. Pabbly.com it is. So why pabbly.com? Well, as I mentioned before, we have an app called as Pabbly Connect that will integrate WordPress and Sendinblue. So all you have to do is just click on sign in. Okay, so this is the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. As you can see, I already have made an account in Pabbly Connect. You can also create your own free account in just 2 minutes. Let me just scroll down and here you will find Connect. Just click on Access Now. Okay, so basically we are going to create a new workflow to integrate WordPress and Sendinblue. Now before I create a new workflow, there is something I have to do. So as you can see, there is already an integration running that has integrated Sendinblue and WordPress. So this is that workflow. Okay, so as you can see, this workflow has already integrated WordPress and Sendinblue. I'm going to switch off this workflow. The reason I'm switching off this workflow is if I don't switch off this workflow and create a new workflow, there will be the problem of duplication of result. Basically, for the same registered user in WordPress, we will have 2 contacts in Sendinblue. We don't want that. So that is why I have switched off this workflow. Now, it is none of your concern because we are going to start from scratch by clicking on create workflow. Okay, so I'm going to give a name to this workflow. How about WordPress to Sendinblue? And let me just click on create. So when you click on create, a window appears in front of you. This is basically called as the trigger window. Now in the choose app, I'm going to make it as WordPress. So basically we are going to build a new workflow. Now in case if you want to access or clone the template of the workflow, the link is available in the description box. Now the choose app is made as WordPress. Now with the trigger event, how about we make it as user registers, something like that. User registers, yes, this one, user registers. So basically the gist is we are just trying to integrate WordPress to Pabbly Connect. Now the trigger event is mentioned as user registers. So your obvious question is, what is the trigger event? Trigger is basically a if statement. It asks a question, if this condition is met, what should be done? For example, if a new user registers in WordPress, then what action should be taken by the system? Now, before we begin the actual integration process, there is something you have to know. We actually have to install a plugin, and this is a free plugin called as WP Webhooks. Now, I'm just going to copy this plugin name, and let me just straight away take you to the dashboard of WordPress. Okay, so this is my WordPress dashboard. I'm straight away taking you to the plugin section, and let me just click on install plugins. Let me just open this in a new tab. Okay, so as you can see, these are all the installed plugin. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to work with this particular plugin that is called as WP Webhooks. Okay, so this is the plugin. So as you can see, this plugin is already installed. Now, I'm not going to teach you how to install a plugin. If you don't know, all you have to do is just click on add new and just type the name WP Webhooks, install the plugin and just activate it, and of course refresh it. So basically this is how you install the plugin. Now I am assuming that you know how to install a plugin and you have installed this plugin. All you have to do is just click on settings. Okay, so this is the settings page of WP Webhooks. Here we have some choices: send data, receive data, authentication, settings, and pro. Just click on send data. Okay, so basically it is asking send data when. So basically here we have choices: send data on register, send data on login, send data on user update. Basically we want to send the data when a user registers. So let me just click this. Now for send data on register, we have to add a webhook URL. So basically just click on this orange button, add webhook URL. Now I'm going to give a name to this webhook URL. How about Sendinblue contact? Just a random name that's popping in my head, that's all. And now comes the most important part, the webhook URL. So basically this is your webhook URL. You copy this and simply paste it here. Okay, so this is your webhook URL. Let me just click on add for create user. Okay, so the webhook URL has been added. Essentially, this means that we have successfully integrated WordPress to Pabbly Connect. Now, this means that anytime a new user registers in WordPress, Pabbly Connect has to capture the data. So let's have a look. Is Pabbly Connect capable of capturing the data? Yes, it is waiting for the data. Excellent. So let us do some experiment. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new registration. So let's say a person called as Arohi, the last name Rathore, is filling the form. Arohi Rathore, and this is the username. Okay, and this is the company. She works in SpaceX, and this is her user email, Arohi Rathore 23@gmail.com. So this is her username and this is her user password, bunch of random alphabets and numbers. Okay, so this is her email, this is her residential address, this is the address line 2, this is the phone number, this is the country, and this is the zip code. Let me just click on submit to add Arohi as a user in WordPress. Okay, so it is showing that the user has been successfully registered. Basically, Arohi is now our user in our WordPress site. Now, since Pabbly Connect is integrated with WordPress and we have mentioned the trigger event as user registers, let's have a look whether Pabbly Connect has captured this detail or not. Yes. So this is the username ARTH12, and this is the email of Arohi Rathore, and this is, where are the rest of the details? Yes, this is the first name, this is the last name, and then we have the rest of the address, like the email, the residential address, the company she works in, the phone number, and this is of course the pin code. Now, using all these details, we are going to create a contact in Sendinblue. And this is how you do it. You introduce one more window, and this window is called as the action window. And here in the choose tab, just type Sendinblue. Sendinblue. Okay, yeah, this one. Now in the action event, how about we make it as create a contact? Okay, so basically we have selected the choose app as Sendinblue and the action event as create a contact. Just click on connect. Now in the new connection name, we have to enter the API key, and this is how you enter your API key. You just go to Sendinblue and just click on your profile. And in the profile, you will find the option SMTP and API. Click this. Okay, so as you can see, I have already created 3 API keys. Now for your consideration, I'm going to create a new API key. Now I'm going to give API name, how about Blue? Okay, just a random name, that's all. And let me just click on generate. So a new API key called as Blue has been created. So this is your API key. You just copy this and just paste it here. It's so easy. Okay. So the API key has been entered. Let me just click on save. So when you click on save, you have a set of fields in front of you. The purpose of these fields is very simple. We are going to create a contact in Sendinblue from the data that we have received from WordPress via Pabbly Connect. And by default, it is showing the select list as user, WordPress user. And these are all the list I have. Now out of all this list, I'm going to click on this one, WordPress user. Now update enable status, let us keep it as false. By default, it is showing the blacklisted emails as false. The SMS blacklisted, let's keep it as false. Now let's start mapping. This is how you map it. You just click on the cursor and this is how you enter. From the first accordion, you get the user email. So this is your email. So where is the email? Okay. Yeah, this is the one. Then we have the next detail, that is the first name, and this is how you do it. You just enter Arohi. Okay, so this is the first name, and then we have the last name. So this is the last name. Okay, so the last name, that is Rathore, and then we can enter the SMS or the phone number. So this is how you map the phone number. Okay, so yeah, this is the phone number. Now it is saying it is demanding a particular format, and the particular format is you have to enter the country code, and I'm from India, so the country code or the person's country code, that is Arohi, she is using, is 91. So I have manually typed it. So at this point, we have entered sufficient details to create a contact. All you have to do is just click on save and send test request. Okay, so the ID, it is showing it as 90. So basically this is a good sign. That basically means the contact has been created. So let me just straight away take you to contacts to check. We have a contact called as Arohi. Yes, we do have a contact called as Arohi Rathore. This is the last name, this is the first name, and this is the phone number where we'll be sending the SMS. So the presence of this contact shows that we have successfully integrated WordPress and Sendinblue with help of Pabbly Connect. Now, before you leave, let me just explain you the whole mechanism in a nutshell. So here I'm just going to minimize the action window, and I'm going to minimize the trigger window. So basically, this is the whole process in a nutshell. First, you integrated WordPress to Pabbly Connect, and then you have integrated Pabbly Connect to Sendinblue. So now there's a perfect flow of data between WordPress and Sendinblue. Excellent.